Listen up.
It's the number one voice of the tri-state. I'm number one. It's Cooking Up 215. So let the show begin.
Turn me up.
Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth, and this is Cooking Up 215, where we get you up close and personal with your favorite artists, entrepreneurs, shakers, and move makers. And we got a major guest coming straight out the NY today. We got my man Chris Stylezz in the building.
What up, boy?
You know what I mean? For those who don't know, Chris Stylezz is the owner, creator, and host of Trappin Anonymous on Breakbeat Media right now. Definitely a super dope podcast, super dope show. And you've been, you know, this ain't no overnight thing. You've been putting time into this. You was doing this when podcasts just had audio. You know what I mean? You come from the great days, you know what I mean? That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So it said that, you know, you got this idea, you know, in Colombia. Like you just out on vacation and just came up with this idea for the show?
Yeah, man. I mean, I was, not to sound pretentious, but I was getting a massage. Right? And I feel like that was like my phone wasn't on. It was silent. And it was peaceful.
Right.
And that's when I feel like my mind had the opportunity to think.
Facts.
And I always wanted to document things from my hood. I say, yo, I know somebody that went to jail. I know somebody that ran up $250,000. I know somebody that caught an attempt murder. These is $1 million stories.
Facts.
So if I have these stories, why don't we tell y'all story? The average person can't call CNN.
Right.
The average person can't call, you know what I mean, a platform that they really want to be on and tell their story. So I was like, why don't we give a voice to the voiceless? And so I was out there and I wanted it to be anonymous at first, right? Because I thought I didn't want to give up people. I didn't want them to actually go to jail, and, you know, from, you know, snitching on themselves.
On the show, right. You ain't want nobody to implicate themselves in some shit that could get them in trouble.
Exactly. So I'm like, all right, I know it's trapping because I know I want to get people trapping. And I just thought of anonymously. And I'm like, that don't really sound too good. And I was like, anonymous. And I said, oh shit, that's it. All in my head as I'm getting a massage.
The whole thing came together.
I got up, I called my best friend. I said, yo, I got this idea for a podcast. I ran it by him. And we're going to talk to people anonymous. We're going to distort their voice. Right. And, you know, we just going to have a conversation. And that's what happened. And it was supposed to only be 4 episodes. I said 4 episodes and then I'm done. Because I thought it was going to fail.
So you got into it wanting to do it, but also already thinking it was going to fail? Like how that thought even work? Yeah,
because it was something so new, something so fresh. I knew that I wanted to try, but listen, you got to be quick to fail. Right? Yeah. When you fail, the quicker you fail, the faster you learn. So I come from that. Like, all right, yo, I think this drink gonna fail. I don't know, but I won't know until I try.
Until you try.
Right? But also that's me placing no expectations on it, right? Because when you place an expectation, you control by the outcome. Yeah. And I ain't want the outcome to control me. I ain't, fuck, I don't know. I ain't want that.
I think that's why we all do it though. I think that's why we all kind of, you know, be like, man, this might not work. It's so that you not crushed. When it don't go, when you tell them it's gonna do $1 million and it don't do $1 million, then you sick.
We all know that that Instagram post that we think is gonna go off and,
and that joint don't go off.
Nobody like that shit. You be like, oh, then I thought I had one. You delete it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you don't care what it is, this shit ain't gonna do. This shit gonna do 5 likes. So then when they do 10, you in the win.
It's a win. Everything is a win after that. Everything is profit.
Yeah. So I thought it was going to fail. So I said limited series. We're gonna do 4 episodes. I did the 4. It exploded. It exploded. Everybody was like, this is genius, right? Yeah. He's like, yo, you got one. And after 4, I was like, I guess I got to keep going. I didn't really account for all this, but I had all the podcast equipment in studio. I was right here in my mother's kitchen. Right.
Your first episode was shot in the kitchen, right?
That's right.
That's crazy. And then look at us in the kitchen again.
Still in the kitchen.
Full circle.
It's always a full circle moment.
Yeah,
that's why,
wild.
You know, even seeing what you're doing here and seeing that ground root, that was part of it for me too. It's just yo, I come from that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, let's make it do something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, man.
And you have food, so yeah.
The food, man, I tell people every time, man, that's the hook, line, and sinker, man. Yeah, ain't too many hoes gonna tell you no when you tell them you got food, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, you got food, inviting some black people,
I'm a whole
niggas gonna come. Yeah, not you. But you know, if you talking to a shorty You offer her some food, she gonna slide, bro. She gonna slide. So it's like that just work for everybody, man. You feed them, motherfuckers ain't saying no to no good meal. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got them chefs that really putting it down. We be having motherfuckers they be drooling. I be reading the comments. They be like, yo, that shit look good. They be upset when niggas don't eat.
Yeah.
So the food do what it's supposed to do, but yeah. It's just like, you know, same thing with you where you just wanted to give a voice to the voiceless. Yeah. That was my whole thing. It was just like, man, we got so many people in the city with so many stories. That's why I was infatuated with your joint too. Right. Because that's really my whole thing was just like, I know how many stories we really got that people would not even think is real. Like you couldn't fathom certain shit. So it'd be like, here's the opportunity to share your story, but you took it to a different level. You know what I mean? Where mine is like, it's equated with sharing your story, but also having that upside and, you know, you're now working towards some type of success or something like that. But I definitely love where yours is just straight about that story, just really getting people in some crazy moments. And it's like, absolutely. I think that shit is just so dope, bro. Just to see how much shit really be going on that you would never know, man. It's some shit that you would never fathom be coming on there. Like, I seen the joint where the mom tried to kill her son. And the baby mom was trying to help and she was trying to fight the baby mom.
The baby mother.
That's wild. Then like Smart Guy, his story with his mom. Yo, this shit be wild. Even the Philly shorty, the OBA shorty, I ain't never heard of her until I seen that joint. I'm like, damn, there's some dangerous drinks on here. You gotta be safe. You gotta really mind your business out this joint. Watch what strip club you go to.
Yeah, man. It's so much to it, bro. It's so much to it. These is $1 million stories, bro. This is stories that more importantly is changing people's lives. Not just the people that's hearing it, but the people that I'm interviewing. Right. Every time I do an interview, I get that call after the next day. Thank you. It's therapy. It's therapeutic.
To get it out like that.
Everybody. It's something right now that you wish you could get off your chest. You know what I mean? Right. And you have the opportunity to do it in front of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. You know what I mean? And sort of get that validation sometimes, or sort of maybe I'm not crazy. You know, I have that full circle moment where you just sitting there and you feel like you inspiring somebody or deterring somebody from the wrong thing. So when you on that kind of stage, it does something to you. It's part of a healing process, and people come to me to get healed, and that's the process that we're in, and I love it.
Yeah, that's
passionate
dope.
about it, right?
Yeah.
And when you follow your love, you'll always win. So I don't need $1. If I don't never get paid for Trappin Anonymous, I'm gonna do it. Right. I love it.
Speaking of your loves, you also have a love for the stage. That's what probably got you started with hosting, you know, Trappin Anonymous, was trapping all the parties and events. You've hosted some major events. Talking thousands of people. And all of that, so you don't get it to it. You had Henny Palooza, Duce Palooza, you know, the R&B party. Y'all came up with this concept, throw these parties, and you got your feet wet with the hosting.
Yeah, no, but I was actually through my fraternity, so Kappa Alpha Psi.
Kappa Styles, right?
Yeah. Somewhere. But so I was doing that with one of my partners back. It was Noop at that time as well. Still a Noop, obviously. But we sat down and I was like, oh, I want to do these events. I want to do this, that, and the third. We had a DJ and stuff like that. Right. It's like, how you do that thing on the mic there? He's like, oh, you know, here's the levels. You just come in, come out. You kind of fill out the crowd and this, that, and the third. I was like, I think I could do that. He's like, yeah, do it. And I did it, and he was like responding to me. So I'm like, oh, nah, I think I started liking it, right? It's like that power, like that. You feel like you controlling the environment. Yeah. And so when I was doing that, I was just like, yo, everywhere I was going, I was just taking the mic. I didn't even know the DJ. I just go there and I just take the mic. And they be like, yo, but then I'd be so nice. They be like,
gotta let you rock.
You know what I mean? So that's how my inception into hosting. You know what I mean? And so it was just doing that. And after that, it was like, I could do anything.
Damn, that's wild. So you just started jumping on the mic. And next thing you know, you hosting your own events in front of thousands of people. And then the crazy part, like you even hosted events for like Beyonce and Jay-Z and shit like that. That is wild.
Yeah, no.
Like that's a crazy story. Like niggas don't talk about how you hosted a party in a basement and basement party turned to a stadium party. Sold out Barclays parties.
Crazy.
That's vicious. To Beyonce, I need you to host one of my parties type joint. That is wild, bro.
Yeah, no, it is, man.
Like that's crazy.
It's where your passion could take you, man, is just limitless, bro.
Did you ever even like? All right, cool. The hosting popping, even when you're doing the events, y'all Coney Island and all that shit. Did you see it turning into what it turned into? Like, where though you hosting these major events, even landed on what was you on BET? What was that Revolt and Tidal?
Yeah, dog. The Tidal was through the podcast.
Okay.
You know, I got that deal with Tidal. That was the podcast on there.
Yeah. But they had you host like an event or hosting. You was on the carpet talking to artists and shit like that?
Yeah, that was not Made in America. That was they had a concert. It was like a benefits concert and stuff like that. So Tidal was having. So obviously, as one of their acts,
they put you up there.
Put me on the carpet. Now I gotta take the pictures. Do all that stuff. But that's
heavy though, man. That's heavy.
Yeah. But it's just like that world ain't. I'm not. It's too enticing. It's a drug, bro. That world is not. It's not healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
We don't come from those environments.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm from Brooklyn, New York, bro. Like, I don't come from being on the red carpet. I don't come from being in Coachella, hosting for Beyonce and Hove and doing all this, that, and the third. Like, I don't come from that.
Right.
So when you thrust it into such an environment and there's so much dopamine going on, you so high off that moment. You so high off that, you know what I mean?
Right.
Even the fact that it's just a talking point. Even with this, it's like, yo, let's talk about that. It's like, yo, that shit ain't nothing.
Right.
That's nothing because it wasn't really fulfilling. You know what I mean? It wasn't fulfilling to me.
Right.
It was just another high to get high on. You know what I mean? Right now, what we doing is we're not getting high no more. That's what I was able to do on drugs. This is what I'm able to do off of it. You know what I mean?
Got you.
So that stuff is just like.
What made you reach that point though? Like what was it? What was going on that made you? A lot of people chase this shit. A lot of people want to be the popular dude. A lot of people want to be the one on center stage. A lot of people want to be in front of them cameras. They want to get them calls to do these type of things. And I feel like these days the aim is just to be in that life. If motherfuckers could be as broke as they is now, but they could get in those rooms or be a part of these situations and rub elbows with celebrities, they'll do it in a heartbeat. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even think people care about the money no more. It's really about fame and popularity. So what happened that kind of made you have this realization? Like this ain't really what we going for. Like this ain't it.
Yeah, bro. I lost it all. Right. I lost it all. I was there. I was doing all of that. I was at the height of my career, and then it was gone in an instant. You understand what I'm saying? And when you lose, now you have to face the reality of life. Now you got to face the reality of your circumstances.
Right.
Now you can't no longer be defined by them viral moments.
Right.
Now you can't no longer be defined by being on that stage. Now you got to close the door. Now you got to be alone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when you're there, you get to meet yourself. Not your character, not your name, not Chris Stylezz. I got to meet Christopher.
Right.
And when I had to meet that man, that's what brought me to a true love, right? And that's the love of oneself. Not the love of the stage, not the love of the likes, the popularity. Right. It was the love of oneself. And just correcting all of the things in my life that I felt like I got high off of. Partying, drinking, sex, women, going out, running. Right. Not running to war, but running from. So now I got to sit down and it all came to me. I didn't have to run anymore. And here we are. It's my second chance.
There you are, yeah. Damn, that's wild. I don't think a lot of people even probably see it like that, but I definitely can imagine that feeling of going up from that peak. Like you said, it's a high. That's right. And then when you come down, it's like withdrawal, because you can't even get right back to that high again. So then you got to really go through that and live in that, that realization. Like, man, we not up there no more. We not doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't be defined by your successes, right? Right. You can't get too high on your highs or too low on your lows. You can't.
Nah, it's a fact.
Because if you live in any one of those realms, man, it could just control you, bro. It could just control you.
You can get stuck there.
I need it. Now I got it. I need this to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once that stopped, it was just like, I got to really sit down and just.
Do you mind me asking what happened? Like what do you feel like was the cause of you losing it all, or the fall, or the change?
I wrote a whole book about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's right. You do got Bloody and Unbowed.
Yeah, Bloody but Unbowed, which is one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite pieces, Invictus. I wrote a whole book about it. It was just me being careless, bro. It was just me just living that life. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that life came back to get me. You know what I'm saying? So if you do want to check out my story, I will have to plug my book. You know what I mean?
You definitely plug that book, because I was definitely going to buy it for the research. I'm like, I don't read that fast. So I was like, but just to see that you had a book definitely had me ready to go check it out. Yeah. I think you even did like some, you know, like a little documentary type vibe and everything like that for people to check out.
Yeah, for sure,
You
bro.
definitely got a story, man. It's something for people, just period. Because I feel like you in that, or at least back then, you were in that space right there when people making that break in their life, you know what I mean? Or they feel like they making that break, or they doing those things that take them to that next level. You know what I mean? That in between that we rarely get to see of everybody. You know what I mean? You 9 times out of 10, unless you know the person personally or they from your town, you don't watch their whole rise. You just see them once they get there. It's that little part where they making that transition between the hustle to this is real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't really get to know how they feel.
Yeah.
What that feel like. That's the reason I like tapping on people, because it's like a lot of people reaching for that. What does it feel like? Whether it's good or bad, because you gotta know, because it comes with it. So when somebody else is working and they working towards success, this might help them out to understand not to dwell on that shit so much. Because I'm sure a lot of people probably get lost in that celebrity, that, you know what I mean, feeling like you him, you that.
Yeah, bro.
And now you wrapped up in that, not realizing that shit don't last all the time. And sometimes you gotta come back down. And that shit is where a lot of people lose themselves. They can't get back to reality. They don't know how to get back on the horse and go again. You know what I mean?
Well, the truth is, bro, everybody's on your team when you rising. Right? Everybody is, yo, that's my boy, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I remember when he was doing this, that, and the third. And the moment you make it, you become a target. And that's something that you'll realize as you continue to ascend and get into that next level of what you guys are doing here.
Right.
You know, it might be, yeah, bro, we support you. And then when we can no longer reach you, when your phone, you can't answer the phone for them as much, right? You become a target. And sometimes we take advantage of being that top dog, right? Maybe we should answer the phone sometimes. Maybe we should be a little bit kinder sometimes. Maybe we shouldn't be like, you know what, make people feeling forgotten and stuff like that.
Right.
But the catch-22 is there's not enough that you could do for another person to make them feel like, oh, I'm back with you, bro. We doing this together. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want to feel. Yeah. And then it's the jealousy, it's the envy. So you got to deal with that too. It's like, we want you to do good, just not better than us. Right. And once you start pulling up in the cars, once you start getting the Rolexes, once you start getting the bust downs and shit like that, it's like, nah, you're not one of us no more. Damn. How could we bring you down? Right. You know what I'm saying?
And that'd be the whole aim.
And that's how it happens. And, you know, sometimes when they shoot, it hit.
Yeah.
It hit.
That's real. So you had to deal with Tidal. And then the crazy part, you know, you went from Tidal, now you got this deal with Breakbeat. You added video to the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So and this is kind of recent. Like your thing with Breakbeat, probably like 2021, 2022. It's only 2023. So, you know, it's a fairly new relationship. How is that? You know, being part of that network.
Tidal or Breakbeat?
Breakbeat.
Well, before Breakbeat was Tidal, so I had Tidal.
Yeah.
I met a young lady that never introduced what she did to me, right? Be careful when you meet people and they tell you, yo, bro, I got this opportunity. Yo, bro, yeah, I work for this person. Yeah, bro, I do this, I do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful of those people. They'll never help you. This girl, she never said what she did. We just had a great conversation. This, that, and the third. Yeah, I'll check you later. 6 months later, she said, oh, yeah, I got you a meeting with Tidal. I'm like, how do you know anybody at Tidal? She's like, well, I work there. I said, well, you never told me you worked there. She said, why do I have to tell you I worked at Tidal? Right. I'm like, you smart. So I come in, I do it, and they loved it. They just loved the idea. They loved the concept. They loved everything.
Right.
They let me keep my intellectual property. They let me keep my actual episodes. They only made me exclusive. I gave them exclusive access to the episodes for a year, and after that, I could get it back and re-rock, put it back out.
Yeah.
So it was a deal that made sense. I'm a pretty good negotiator. You don't get what you're worth. You get what you can negotiate. Thanks. And I got that opportunity, but it was because of that girl, and she noticed me in that moment, and that was, I feel like, synonymous with my height moving up in the hosting. Synonymous. It was just together, parallel. Yeah. And it was going together. They was going together.
The Duce Paloozas and all that.
Yeah. So when I took that fall, I lost everything. Not the deal, because that deal was already expired, but I had to sort of start from zero again, right? And the owner of Breakbeat, I was actually the first podcast on Breakbeat.
Oh shit.
The owner of Breakbeat had reached out to me, Dave Mays, and he's the owner of the, he created the Source magazine.
He was from the Source, right? Yeah. Right. Super dope. I didn't even know that till I started digging into your story.
Yeah, I didn't know it either. And so when he's like, "Hey, I'm Dave Mays, you know, I'm really interested in your story, and I love your podcast and this, that, and third." And I was just like, I wasn't familiar with like the hip hop history and stuff like that.
Right.
And so he had this idea, you know, and I had just been so scarred from being in the industry that for me to now take on this new industry type thing, I'm like, yo, look, this is what I'm going through right now, bro. I got a lot going on. I'm not really trying to do this.
Yeah.
And you know, that's when he kind of said, you know, we gave it some thought, we gave it some time. We still we want to go through with this. And when he told me that, it was a rewarding moment for me, because again, I said I was on my second chance, and I felt worthless in that moment. I felt like I felt so defined by my successes that when I didn't have it no more, I didn't feel like anything I did had value. So I'm sure he probably doesn't know that he was really breathing life into me again.
Right, bringing you back up.
So you might be talented at many different things, but you're supposed to only focus on one, right? When I was doing Trappin Anonymous before, I was a host extraordinaire. I was all over the world. I was getting bookings, gigs. My mind wasn't where it needed to be. For these past 2 years, I got to just bring my attention and my focus to the podcast. And that's why I'm here today.
Right.
And it's not because of nobody else or what they invented or thought of. It's because of something that I created.
Right.
In Colombia, laying on that
getting that massage
table.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a crazy story too to just tell people.
Yeah, I know.
Getting a massage, crazy, man. $1 million idea just.
Yeah, but because you gotta be, we're always busy. We're always doing something. We're on our phone, we're drinking, smoking, working, doing something.
Yeah.
How often are you doing nothing? Even when you're bored for 5 minutes, you want to pick up your phone.
You never give your mind that time to even think.
You have to give your mind the ability to be bored. Be bored. Things come to your mind when you're bored. Things come to your mind when you're not doing nothing. When you just coming up with thoughts and you're going down your own rabbit hole in your head. People are not doing that anymore. And that was something that I realized I was doing. I was going down a rabbit hole in my own mind.
Right.
And I wasn't distracted by somebody's news feed, or what they was talking about, what they was doing, of something I didn't care about anyway.
Right.
So, yeah.
Just
you gotta turn it off.
Follow down your rabbit hole. You never know where you go. That's super dope, man.
That's right.
Super dope. Before we go to this break, so I wanted to get it to you. You wanted to be a cop originally, like when you was a young boy. You wanted to be a cop?
My dad. Rest in peace, my dad, bro.
Yeah, my condolences as well.
Thank you, man. I wanted to be a cop because they had a gun. Right? I wanted to be a cop because they had a gun. Batman was my favorite character.
For real?
Yeah.
But it's dope.
More importantly, I think I wanted to be a cop because it was a protector. And when I get these people's stories and they trust me with their stories and they trust me with putting it out to the world, I feel like a protector in a way. So I think that role has never left me, right?
You're still playing it, but in a different way.
In a very different way. In a way that God intended me
to
play it.
Facts. That's super dope, man. That's super dope. We about to get into this food, though. You ready for this food?
Bro, I thought we was gonna have the food the whole time. I
Listen, we about
I didn't hear.
No, first time we
you
gotta
got me
get
here
deep,
talking
man.
to you.
Yeah, we gotta get deep.
Deeping into my demons and digging into my, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to eat.
We gotta open you up. Then we make you feel better with the food. Yeah, that's how we do it. But y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth. Chris Stylezz in the building. It's cooking at 2 and 5. We be right back. Let's go.
It's our favorite part of the show. That's your favorite?
Yes, sir.
Ah, chef, what you got cooking? You already know.
Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth, and it is my favorite part of the show. It's time to get into that food. We got Chef Q. Y'all know Chef Q, man. If you watch the show, you know Chef Q. Chef Q. Oh, and this is Chris Stylezz, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Introduce
How you
y'all.
doing?
How are you? I'm doing just fine today.
So what you got for me and my man Chris Stylezz?
All right, y'all. So today we took it down to the south, all right? So we got a fresh caramel crusted whiting po' boy with a chipotle ranch sauce. When I say you gonna get a little stuff, it's okay. It's still early in the day.
Yeah.
But you gonna be fulfilled, okay?
I ain't eat none today too, so I'm about to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you gonna tear it up.
I'm gonna treat it a little bit. I'm gonna try to keep it cool for y'all.
It's okay, but that's how you supposed to settle the food. You gotta treat it like that. It's
You
okay.
gotta go in.
It ain't disrespectful.
I could just act out one and get crazy on him. So how you feel about the po' boy? Have you ever had a po' boy?
I had shrimp po' boy before. I that's a whiting. That's fish.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's the. Oh yeah, no, I never had the
white
the
po'
fish.
boy.
The fish po' boy. It looks good.
Yeah, and that
I
caramel
thought it was
crust.
shrimp too. Yeah.
Yeah, but that caramel crust on there hit different.
Why?
Just saying.
Why?
Because the way I make my mix and my seasonings is different, and I fry it delicately. So you still got that crisp, but it's not overly hard after it finished cooking.
That's perfect, man.
So I gotta warm it up a little bit.
No, it's already there.
good.
It's good. So as soon as you take that first bite, I guarantee you probably gonna close your eyes. You're just gonna have to memorize real quick and take it in.
Think about it for 2 seconds. Listen. Let them know, let them know where to find you at. They can get themselves a po' boy and all that good stuff.
All right, y'all. So y'all can follow me on Instagram at chefq_cutthroat. Come get you a po' boy. And let's be fulfilled this week, okay? You're looking at that sauce, right?
I might need a little extra sauce on the side, y'all.
I came here just for this. I don't care about no interview now.
Look, there we go, man. Y'all already know who it is. Your boy Smooth, Chef Q, Chris Stylezz. Let's go back
Let's
to
get
the
it.
show. Let's go. Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth, cooking at 2 and 5. We still here with my guy Chris Stylezz. We got this wonderful meal from Chef Q. You know, Q always come through. You know what I'm saying? So she did a little something different for me. I love a good, fish hoagie. It's a po' boy. So we're gonna dive into this joint. This is the time where we get to dig in and, see what's up. You fucking them chips up. You drop right in them joint.
Bro, I came here from Brooklyn
Damn.
for this.
What kind of chips is these?
I don't know. She made it by hand.
Them joints well seasoned.
When she made these,
Goddamn.
she cut the potato.
I ain't gonna lie, Q would do some shit like that. But damn. Oh, this it.
I be smacking when I
bread
eat
soft
too.
as
Like
shit.
I don't wanna.
I feel like I smack when I talk. I like this little. I
Like
be
my
hearing it
mouth
when
be
I watch
open and all that
myself.
shit.
Yeah. Dig in, man. Get comfortable, baby. You know
All right,
what I'm
bet.
saying?
So here
we had the
there's
critter
the
there.
fish, the whiting, just so y'all can see.
Yeah.
Motherfucker look good.
Tease him a little bit.
It's my YouTube voice. So you see how wonderful that looks right there. Okay. So let's try this. You ever realize they brought the food and it's never bad? It's always like, oh my God.
Like it's always so good.
Oh, this is so good. I'm gonna do it too, but I'm just like, it's never bad.
I be telling people, keep it real, man. You gotta keep that shit a bean. They do that what's that, ASMR?
Wow. No, I don't know. She was right. She's fried, but it's not fried hard. And it's so flavorful.
Everything easy to bite into. This bread, look at.
But the taste, it really, the taste is profound. It really smashes. You got some little, the chipotle.
Y'all know how I get. It get a little messy, you know what I mean?
Wow.
I might get food in my bed. They know how I get down.
A white and po' boy. You went crazy, Chef Q.
That shit tastes good too.
A white and po' boy? Hold on.
You can taste the pepper in it. That's in there.
I'll look up.
I'm not gonna lie. Q, if you love me, I need some more of that Chipotle mayo. I really just kind of want to dip it, like, you know, you might let me get some so I can just squeeze it on the board, so I can just.
You know how they say podcast? I was gonna start a food cast. I was gonna start a food cast, but I'm just talking about different food and teasing people. This is what they put the YouTube hand. When I'm just teasing people.
I'm not gonna lie, I be feeling spoiled. Like, you know, like every week I really get to enjoy these meals. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really get a different type of joint every
It's
week.
really
That
messed
shit is
up
spoiled.
because you got all these people working for you and they ain't eating shit.
They eat too. They eat good.
They ain't got no food for my boys.
They eat good.
They do all the work. You just look pretty, fix your beard every 2 seconds, and they get to watch you eat this food. I ain't gonna lie, we'd have to shoot it if I was there. You had to come see me outside, bro, because there ain't no way.
Bro, they eat good. That's the thing. They spoil you too.
Okay, that's
they know
cool.
when this shit over, they what?
Yeah, bro.
They be busting that shit down.
Yeah, bro, 'cause this right
They
here
bust that shit
crazy.
down. That shit get over. Please believe. Especially Ben and Weed, they not gonna play.
I'm
They
mayo.
gonna get that shit. You want some? You know what I mean?
I'm Gucci, but
You said fuck all that.
I'm good.
I'm gonna hold y'all. That's spicy mayo doing one thing. You know what I'm
Why
saying?
we here again?
This happens every time. I'm lost myself. It's like I get lost in the food for 2 seconds. They know I'll be back in a little bit after I. I mean, I gotta say, get that John. Oh, let me get that.
No chips. I'm about to just knock out after this, for real.
That extra spicy mayo. That's the one. That's it.
As you can see, I'm almost done.
This joint good as shit though.
I like to attack it from both sides, and then we could work on the
You
middle.
gonna have to tell me we should get this bread though, cause I love some. The bread
You
gotta
talking
be
about
right,
the bread?
bro.
You can't talk about stuff she didn't make. You gotta just talk
No.
about the stuff she made.
See, you already accented the fish, and I told her I could taste the seasonings. See, but a lot of people fuck up because they'll do all that, and then they get like a hard ass roll. You know, like I never understood why people like Primos.
She made the bread, though.
They bread be hard as shit.
She made it.
You probably did make this bread.
She got the yeast.
Y'all gonna have to come get some of this Q bread. Q got that shit though. I be telling y'all.
Stuff Q bread.
Q don't
She had
play.
the logo on it, but I ate that part first.
Had the name engraved in the side, but you know, that
what's
shit
going
going
on,
on.
What's going on? It's Chef Q juice.
Huh?
It's Chef Q everything right now. I'm sold. I'm sold. What else is Chef Q? It's Chef Q Henny.
Chef Q Henny, Chef Q glasses, Chef Q boards,
Word up.
Chef Q the one.
Now you
But-
put your foot in there.
Yeah, that shit hit. So before we left off, you know what I'm saying, the last thing we talked about was
But there's really more interview?
yeah, man, we gonna talk.
damn.
This is where we get into the future, but before we tap all the way into the future, I want to talk about one thing because I feel like it wouldn't be right if I didn't give you the opportunity to even talk about it. Your dad had passed, and I feel like it was at very pivotal point in your life when this happened. But it seemed like your relationship with your dad was like a real good one. You know, everybody don't have good relationships with their parents, and it seemed like you and your dad really was tight. Like, was losing your father part of, like, you know, that feeling of you feeling like you had lost it all, or like did it play any roles in that in your life?
Ask me about death now, man. I'm trying to.
I ain't wanna, you know, I still wanna be sincere, and I ain't wanna leave it and not, you know, we literally talked about your dad and we skimmed on it, but I feel like he's a major part of your life. So as much as you know, after this we're gonna get on the happy side. We're gonna talk about the future, the millions and all that shit. But I feel like it's only right.
So you asked me, do I feel like losing my dad?
Did that happen at that point where you felt like you were losing everything? Like where like shit was going
at
bad?
the start of every villain story is losing
Somebody that
a father. You're not gonna notice this until I say it, but like, look at every movie, bro. Like, it's always like a tumultuous relationship with the father. that it just comes back to. And that's the importance of fathers in the lives of kids and adults.
That's a fact.
So I felt like my father, and I put this in the book too, I felt like my father was the only I felt like my supervision was gone when I lost my dad. So I didn't have to behave, you know?
Right.
I could party more, I could drink more. You know what I'm saying? I could go out more. I could have more sex. I don't have to impress anybody anymore.
You can act up now and there's nobody left to
reprimand me.
be straight for.
Yeah. I didn't have to impress. I have to impress my dad. My dad was my number one fan. You see what I'm saying? So when I lost my dad, I felt like I just got deeper into the idea of who Chris Stylezz is, right? And not to who Christopher, the person, the man, who he was supposed to be. So,
right.
So yeah, it didn't happen at the same time, but when he did pass, I just felt like, you know what, like my supervision was gone, bro. Right. My supervision was gone. That's important to have even a father's presence. Even if you say, oh, the man, he ain't doing this, he ain't doing it, the presence makes a difference.
Lot. Yeah, definitely makes a difference and it means a lot. Yeah, I just wanted to get into that because I could just tell, like, bro. You know, like the relationship you have with your dad. So
yeah, for sure.
And I always think that's a dope thing. Like we should always shine a light on that. Like, you know, men don't get that. It's always the moms. You know, when they go on stage, it's always like my mom held me down. Like nobody get that chance to talk about how their dad was always, you know, there for me. Like
that's why I'm such a hands-on father, bro. Because I know that importance, and that importance is just so deep. That my son needs to know that. Even adolescent years, grown-up years, toddler years, any year, like he needs to know.
Right.
Daddy's here, bro. Like, for real.
Right. And I just feel like too, even when you had your son, that was like, you know, not shortly after losing your dad. In a span of understanding, we lived for a long time, so it might have been a year or two. But that's like really like that. And this is gonna be a little different. Might be a little off for other people. Because me personally, I lost my grandma. So my grandma is like my mom. My mom is my mom, but my mom, we got like a brother-sister bond. So my grandma was more like my mom, you know, or we both looked at her as our mom. But when I lost her, you know, I had a daughter. So it definitely like was like this thing of feeling like my grandma, my daughter, you know what I mean? They had something to do with each other where like, you know, she might be in there a little something, but did you ever feel like that when having your son?
That
like,
my father was in my son?
Did he bring that piece to you like as if your father was in your son? Okay.
I didn't understand my father until I had a son.
Okay.
I think becoming a father is when you really understand. I used to be a kid, I used to be like, what? Why is my father like this? Why is he doing that? Why is he used to do this weird thing? We would talk and he wouldn't talk back. Like, this dude is weird. Now I became a father.
Now you'll get it.
And sometimes they talk and I'll talk back. I said, I get it now, Dad.
That's funny.
No, but you know, realistically,
no,
you don't understand your father until you become a father. You don't understand your parents until you become a parent.
All the shit that you used to get them shit about or think like was not good parenting or you felt like it was too much, and then you find yourself, you still a little early on. Mine's is older. So I'm all the way deep in. I done crossed every bridge that he crossed and I understand why he crossed it. And it's just crazy, like eye-opening. It's like now I gotta tell my kids, like you'll understand at one day. Point. Yeah.
One day
you'll get it, cause
my
I
father
got it.
I was saying, he said, keep on living. Hey, this dude is weird. What are you talking? You just say keep on living. And that's it. And now, keep on living.
That's dope. But beyond that, now into the happy stuff. How has it been with the podcast now? Having video, getting into these stories. Is it different than when you just was doing audio? Like, do you feel like people receive it differently? like I know that there's a true base for people who truly listen to podcasts. So you know you with Breakbeat Media now.
Yeah.
You added visual to the podcast.
Yeah.
How has that transition been adding visual to the podcast?
Yeah, at first I thought it was impossible, right? I'm anonymously interviewing people, right? So like I don't know how the heck I'm going to anonymously put it on camera. Then we thought to blur the face and put it in a dark room. And what ended up happening was it turned into, I used to have this series called 100%, where I didn't do anonymous interviews. Right. It was just showing people's face. So it transitioned from those sort of the dark voices to now people just talking without, as part of my 100% series.
Right.
So when you look up Trappin Anonymous, you're probably going to see a lot of videos that they have no anonymity. Like, it's just people's faces.
It's no longer anonymous.
It's no longer anonymous. And I think it just transitioned everything, because you get to see people's body language, their disposition. You can see when they're vulnerable. You can see when they cry. You could just see people, right? And I think that, we think that people are like slow. People are like stupid. Like, most people aren't stupid. Like, they can tell when someone's lying, or when someone's sincere, or when someone is really adamant about what they're saying. And I think that really takes it to another level, because it makes it more of a personal and interpersonal sort of experience.
Facts. Definitely it adds a layer of authenticity to it, to see that person and see how they explain these stories and tell these stories. You know what I'm saying? Definitely something that, as much as audio was the thing, that visual definitely just caps it all off. You really could dive all the way into it. So
Thank you.
I like it. Even the black and white element that you do. You know what I mean? Yeah. You dive all the way. You get fully immersed in the Trappin Anonymous thing. Like, where it's like you could have did it color. It could have been a nice area. It just got this feeling like you sharing this dark underworld story with me. You know what I mean? And I see it,
I think that was the purpose of it too, man. When you get to look at it in sort of like that grainy black and white, I think everybody looks better in black and white anyway. It's like cleaner, but outside of that, it's just it just makes you feel like, I don't know, it's a different vibe. It just feels different.
So, what's the craziest story, like, out of all the wild ass stories that you've heard? What is the one that, when people ask you, that's that one that come to mind? Is that one like, no, this shit right here, this was the one that had me tossing and turning at night. Like, this is the one.
You gotta be careful with this sort of material, right? Because it becomes you. It's like they say, go to work and don't take work home. Some of this shit's so dark.
It gotta expose
your mind to just things that you would never think about. You know what I mean? And you gotta be careful, bro. So I try to detox, and just walk away from the material, bro, every now and then. Just so that I don't become it. Because it's inevitable.
I'm like, yo, it's like, how can he hear these things? And then, like, some of that shit, it gotta come into your dream. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of this shit is deep.
Yeah, man. I mean, everything from, Felly getting stabbed 33 times, and
crazy. That's the one I'm thinking about in my head. That's so wild you said that.
Her boyfriend just upset that she wants to leave him, so he just keeps stabbing her, and then goes into the room, sees her cousin, kills her cousin, comes back and continues to stab her, and she survives. Cousin, rest in peace, but she survives, right? Or, the son that's shot on the floor, bleeding out, and his mother comes and fights his wife as she's trying to tend to him on the floor. Stuff like that, bro, is just like, it's so dark to me.
Yeah.
Or the little girl that's raped, gang raped. Gang raped in a hallway. And nobody's there to help her.
I ain't see that one.
And they just all taking turns.
Dang.
Break her leg and then send her back off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's hard.
You know what I mean? So this stuff is, it gets dark, man. It gets dark.
Definitely.
And you got to just really be careful. You know, you see the extremes of people, fantasies. What happens when you follow pleasure too far? You're watching a slave chained up to the woman as he sits on the floor and she just dominates over his life because pleasure is just going too far.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
What happens when you just keep looking for that next thing, that next high?
Right. When you keep on okaying it, when you keep on saying yes to your demons.
When you keep saying yes to your demons. Pleasure is a slippery slope.
Like, have you, like, did you ever get to a point where it really was, like, taking a toll on you? Where, like, yo, this shit is, I gotta slow up. Or, like, you know, just like a feeling of having to figure out how to manage ingesting this. Because, you know, like, your body is responsive to the things that's said, what you say, and what's said around you. So it's like I've seen myself even when I watch certain shows. Like I used to like, it's not even a crazy show. The Mayans joint. It's not the Mayans though. It was the one before that. You ever seen the biker joint? Damn, I can't think of what the name of the shit was, but it's called the Mayans now. But it was once called something else, and I binged it. I watched it. It was a lot of seasons. And I felt the difference in myself though. Like me binge watching something that had a lot of dark material in it, the feeling, the way I felt throughout the day, it was just different. Like I couldn't wait until I was no longer thinking about it so that I could get my normal bounce back. You know what I mean? I was in the dark world for a while.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. You ever was out riding with the guys, about to do something bad, maybe jump somebody, beat somebody up, or maybe go into a high pressure situation. First thing you do is you put on that music. You put on that drill. You put on that bop so you can hear it so that when it's time to...
It further pushes that mood.
It further pushes the mood, right? So you think about it in that context, and then you think about it in the context of you listening to the certain songs throughout your day, and now you a little bit more testy. Now you almost feel bigger. When you listening to somebody talking about getting retaliation and revenge, sometimes you feel like, yeah, I want somebody to test me, like just from listening to it. And you like,
Thanks.
These music is spells, right? The devil was a choir director, right? So he's gonna put it into the music.
Thanks.
So it goes even deeper than that with Trappin Anonymous, right? Because what happens when the daughter of the father that was killed hits your phone and says, that's my father, take that video down. Or the grandmother, and that's her grandchild, and they give you a call and they say, I'm gonna sue you right now if you don't take that video down. And she's crying. She's 18 years old and she's crying because they shielded her from the story. They didn't want to tell her the story because she was too young. Right. But the first time she seen it, because it's viral on TikTok.
That's crazy.
And now you walking and you circling around the block trying to talk her off the ledge.
Right.
It's different.
Yeah, that's different.
It's different. And you could either be like, I don't give a fuck, it's public, click.
Right.
Or you could sit there and have a conversation and be a human being. I care about my work.
Facts.
So I have to go above and beyond for my guests. Or you calling up the LMSW, you calling up the therapist, you calling up a psychoanalyst that could sit there and help, a psychiatrist that could help somebody deal with all of the trauma you just helped them unleash. You unleashed it for the views, right? You unleashed it for the views. And now they got to go back home with all of these demons that they suppressed for 20 years and didn't want to uncover. Now what? There's a responsibility as a journalist. There's a responsibility as a reporter. You can't just ask these questions and just for the clicks because it's good, it sound good. There's a responsibility because there's something you uncovering now. Are you gonna be responsible for me? How you know I won't go off and off myself on the way home? At
least it should be, because everybody don't even operate like that. And I think that'd be fucked up. That's why I don't be chasing every story. But I definitely think that we should be held accountable. Like we should understand the actual risk.
That's right.
So what is it when you dealing with that? How you get yourself through that?
I sit there and I talk to him, bro. I sit there and I really let them express their grievances. I sit there and I maintain a relationship with my guests. I could call anybody up right now. You know what I'm saying? I could call Smart Guy up right now. I could call, you know what I mean, Rico up right now. I could call him because there's a relationship. I don't just interview people.
Right.
I establish a relationship, right? I go to church. I pray to God first. I get on my knees, bro.
Right.
I repent, bro. I ask that he guides me in the right way, that I'm not doing it for the wrong reasons, and that he could use these traumas to breakthroughs so that people could transcend in their life and have an opportunity that they would never have before. Before I read off those questions, I pray.
Damn.
I pray over them questions. I don't just ask them.
Right.
Because it's a responsibility.
That's crazy. That's real. That was deep. Cause that shit, man, I don't know if people understand that shit. Just listening, and then to think like you gotta, like you just said, like you gotta be there. You the bearer of that. Like you gotta carry that. When they talk that shit, it's on you now. And that shit, wow. But I can understand it where it comes into service. Like I seen the female who, with her, boyfriend or whatever stabbed her all them times and killed the cousin and all that. I see like she's pursuing, her music career and anything like that. And who's to say like coming to you, being able to get that off her chest and being able to talk about it don't help. You know what I mean?
She put that same story on 3 other platforms before she came to me.
Okay. So she was already telling her story.
3 other platforms before she came to me.
I never heard it nowhere else though.
So you gotta do it, and that's why it's not just about putting it out there on a platform. It's about praying to God that he guides you to the right platform.
Fact.
So that you could tell that story, so that you could get that off. You know what I mean? And sometimes I thank God for using me, right? Because bro, we gotta want to be used, bro.
Facts.
We gotta want to be used by God. I'm the chosen one. Okay, what if the chosen one means you gotta get beat up? What if being chosen means you gotta lay down? What if chosen means you chosen to be the garbage man? Pick up the garbage. You still want to be chosen? No, we want to be chosen for the good shit. We want to be chosen for the lights and the cameras and all that. So, man, she told that story on multiple platforms, and when she came to me, you know what I mean? I have the right intentions, I have the vision, and it was able to do what it was able to do. You know what I mean? So, bro, I don't know sometimes, bro.
Sometimes it just helps. You don't know what it's going to do. You never know.
You can't predict the viral moment.
You tell God, man, just, pray, point me in the right direction.
Yeah, bro.
And that's all you could do is trust in it and do what you feel is right. That's it. As long as you lead in that, I feel like it's always going to go where it's supposed to go.
When you're doing it for the right reasons. Exactly. I got people calling my phone now for different deals. And I tell them, if God ain't involved, if God is not in it, I can't do it. No matter the bag, no matter the circumstance, no matter anything. If God is not a part of it, I can't do it.
That's thorough. So, where do you see Trappin Anonymous going? Like, what is your vision for the
podcast,
future?
Bro. The #1 podcast.
Damn.
The #1 podcast right now.
You lit. Right now, I like bro. That. I love it. Yeah, I love that for you.
Right now, bro.
You see, got me blushing a little bit.
That's right. That's right. And I ain't flinch.
Yeah.
And I ain't flinch. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason behind that. Right? There's discernment. We've been ordained, bro. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. Ain't nobody doing it like me. Ain't nobody doing what I'm doing. True Crime is the #1 watched podcast, period.
Yeah.
That's the #1 topic that is watched on podcasting, period. And we want to sit there and talk about fucking relationships and shit. True Crime is the #1 podcast, period. Yeah. How many black true crime podcasts do you know of?
Don't really know any besides your joint. That's why I say that you do it in the perfect way, because I'm sure anybody probably hear that True Crime is the #1 joint. I mean, when I was talking to the networks, that's the first shit they talk about. Is how, you got these crime joints and how they pop off and how much, they could potentially be worth. But it's like when it comes to our community, we don't like being able to do shit where you can't bring a swag to it in a sense. But you've managed to find a way where you could bring our shit, because it ain't even like we just chasing just some random Texas Chainsaw shit. we giving real niggas stories. You know what I'm saying? Out in the open, that dark, crazy shit that you probably never thought happened, giving it to you how I'm giving it to you in your format, in your style.
That's right.
So it resonates with us.
That's right.
And I say like that's why your shit is so different. Why it hits with us, period. Cause like, you know, we know them other ones out there, but we don't pay no mind.
Bro, I say it like this, bro. I don't want to see Anderson Cooper come to the projects and talk to and talk to the homies about what it means to sell a pack.
Yeah,
I want somebody that speak the language. I want somebody that look like me.
Mm-hmm.
I want somebody to look like me. And that's why we got to employ each other. That's why we got to hold each other accountable. That's why we got to push each other in the right directions and not just doing the dumb shit. I want to post this. Oh, you had a fight. Let me just post this, that, and the third and go viral. Nah, man. Fuck viral. Fuck viral. How many lives are you changing? We're changing lives over here, bro. I mean that. People come to me bawling after the interview. Bawling. Because we changing lives. They can't get to the interview. Their stomach is turning from reliving their past. So they got to, we got to take a break. Yeah. You know what I mean? It got to be done with the right intention. And I hold their hand and I pray with them right after. I pray with them right there. We're going to make it through this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
So before we get through this, you know, me and you spoken, and you know, you've always said that you had a story.
Yeah.
And you know, even when you talk about your conviction with God and just praying with them.
Yeah, bro.
Like, normally you got to go through some shit to become that type of person. You know what I mean? So do you mind me asking you, like, what's something crazy or what turns you into who you are now? You know what I mean? Even just to be telling other people's stories. Most likely you want to tell stories because you probably got some stories. You know what I mean? When you understood what you wanted and you want to provide that to others. That's normally how these things work.
Right.
We provide what we wish was provided for us.
Right.
What is it that you may have went through to push you to this point?
Bro, it's like I said, you know, and I love the way that you keep flipping the same question, but you know, I'm also a journalist, so I'm really good at what I do as well. Right. You know, listen, it's great loss, bro. It's great loss, bro. It's great loss. It's loss of friends. Okay. It's loss of money, funds, right? But more importantly, it's loss of self, right? I told you, I reached the highest of heights, bro. Facts. And I lost it all because I lost myself, right? And I may not be guilty of the things that niggas accuse me of, but at the end of the day, when I looked in the mirror, I was like, yo, I gotta change. I gotta fix up. I gotta do all that. When I talk to them people in them chairs, I'm talking to myself. Right. I'm not talking to an addict. I'm not talking to, you know, somebody that just committed a body or somebody that just sold drugs. I'm talking to myself. When I ask them questions, I'm asking them of myself, right? Because we all have things that we're ashamed of. We all have things that if I put it in front of the world right now, you will go hiding. Everybody. I don't care who you are. You understand what I'm saying? Right. But we want to sit there and choose the public figure and point the finger and laugh and hide our hands. Right. But we don't want to sit there and take accountability and say, all right, this is how I fucked up and this is how I could be a better person. God, bro. God. That's why he used me in my life and my circumstances in my life. And he said, yo, I'm going to show this part and I'm going to show this part so that people know that I'm real. Because the shit that I bounce back from, people don't bounce back from. You understand what I'm saying? Right. The shit that God has to use the most extreme situations. It's not going to be believable if he just do a little quick hat trick. Yeah. I got to see him bring somebody from the dead. I got to see him make the lame walk and make the blind see. That's what's going to convince me. So.
That's what it took. That's what it takes. That's crazy, man. I'm glad to see you where you at, man.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to see how far you take it. You trailblazing right now. You in a lane where, like you said, there's no others like us in that lane right now, and I feel like you doing it majorly. Because I feel like us in our community as minorities, which you know, which is Spanish, Mexican, anybody, you know what I'm saying? As a whole, we go through some shit sometimes, and we quick to keep it to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like your podcast, your show is like that doorway that everybody could peek into to really see what the fuck really be going on sometimes.
Yeah.
Because people be thinking it's sweet sometimes. You know, a lot of people will tell you, oh, you guys complain and you're black and the life is this. And y'all don't know this shit get real. This shit could get dark. Yeah. And a lot of us been through dark shit and we don't tell nobody. This shit that nobody, you know what I mean, that nobody knows about everybody. Mm-hmm. And this shit is just skimming the surface and it's crazy. Just that skim of the surface is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
They never divulge everything.
Yeah, and even then they still got shit that they not even sharing.
They're holding back.
That is crazy. So it's eye-opening, man. Yeah. And hopefully at the same time it does show people the reality of the world we live in, so people don't find themselves in those same situations,
right,
or anything like it. You know what I mean? Because that's what I think it is. It's just becoming aware of the capabilities of other people. Mm-hmm. Like, this shit is not a game all the time.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean?
It's not a game at all.
Yeah, for real. So you could think like this shit is sweet. It'll change like that. So you really gotta keep your eyes open. So I really, I commend you on that, man. Just being a voice for the voiceless.
Thank you, brother.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
It's super dope, man. You really came such a long way. Solo dolo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's no handouts. It's just really built up from the bottom and just keep working. And just showing like you pick something and if you stay at it, you're gonna win. You know what I mean? And you gotta really stay at it.
I used to want to be a part of the handouts. I used to want to be seen with the popular people. I used to be wanting to be mentioned with their names.
Right.
I used to want that so bad, bro. Post a picture with some, yo, look who I'm with, tagging them. Yo, post that, bro. Like, I used to want that so bad, bro. Mm-hmm. And, bro, trust in God, not in man, to whom there's no salvation. Right? No salvation in man. We want approval. We want the stamp. We want the RT. We want the repost from man. But we don't want that stamp from God. You'll never get to where you're trying to go. You'll never get there. I don't care if you got money. I don't care if you got fame, success. You'll never get to where you're trying to go until you get there with God.
That was a bomb, bro. I wish you didn't even have to tell them your Instagram right now. I just want to end it like that.
End it.
Cause that was real.
Yeah, you gotta tell
that was real.
Drop it.
We gonna put it in a joint.
That's it.
Chris Stylezz. It's your boy Smooth. It's cooking up 2 and 5, man. That shit was real. Tap in. Let's go.
Peace.